Um, so it is 8 a.m., so we will be starting the session. Thank you for attending and welcome. We are excited to kick off Techstars Chicago Startup Week with Mona Fang.
Hi, everyone.
And her yoga session on mindfulness practice to understand your design, making, and thought process. During the session, Mona will guide us through yoga movements that can be used throughout the week to unwind and relax your mind. Mona is a sophomore at the University of Illinois studying aerospace. She runs her own startup, Karma Trade, which redefines the circular economy for clothing. Thank you, Mona, for joining us, and enjoy the yoga session.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here joining today. Our yoga session today is going to be focused on breathing, and it's more of an intro class about yin and the balances of yang. So we're going to start with a breathing exercise. You can sit in any comfortable posture. My recommendation is to find a spot around where it's less cushion and you can feel comfortable moving around. Definitely getting out of a chair is important so that we can open up our hips and then have free movement. So you can either sit with your knees together and sitting on your heels, or you can sit in a cross-legged position. Sometimes I like to place one heel in front of the other so that I can get my hips open like this. So we're going to try something called alternate nose breathing, and this is going to be a great way to calm down in any anxiety-inducing situation. So you're going to take your two peace fingers and then place it at your third eye, which is your middle of your forehead. Then you're going to take your ring finger and place it at your right nostril, and then your thumb at your left. So you're going to block your left nostril first. Inhale through the right. Fill up your lungs with air. Switch out the fingers, so you're exhaling through your left nostril. Inhale in through the left. Switch. And exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch. And exhale through the left. Now is a great time to close your eyes and allow yourself to just feel. Inhale through the left. Hold at the top and switch. Exhale through the right. And keep doing this on your own. Inhaling in through the right. And exhale through the left. We'll do this for a few more rounds, just focusing on your breath in and your breath out. As you exhale, I recommend breathing out with a soft constriction in your throat, creating an ocean-like sound. Think about breathing through your belly here. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing your tongue from the roof of your mouth and facial muscles. Inhale in. Switch. And exhale. Now take your last inhale in. Switch. Exhale through. Bring your hand down. Slowly open your eyes and get started. So let's all meet in a cross-legged position where we have one heel in front of the other. I'm placing my right foot in front of the left foot for now, optional for whichever one you want to start with. So we're going to place both of our palms on opposite knees and just, roll out the shoulders. So oftentimes, as we're sitting all the time at our desk working, we get really cramped in our shoulders and our hips. And this actually prevents our energy from flowing because our body and our mind through our nervous system is so connected. So here we're going to start stimulating our shoulder movement. So really just roll your shoulders out one way and then rolling it forward the other way. And again, paying attention and breath is one of the most important things you can do in yoga. Breath is underlies all of your movements day to day, and it's something where you can go back to your center throughout. So once we're here, let's come back to center. We want to sit up straight with the center line. We'll start with some neck circles. So this is going to help stimulate our vertebrae. You're going to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder and allow gravity to just act on your neck and opening up this muscle right here. So we have this thing that we experience all the time. It's called tech neck. We're looking down our phones, looking down at our laptops. So here we're just gonna stay at the right side, moving back and forth just a little bit. You can feel your stretch happening. Sometimes I like to give myself a small neck massage here. But here we're gonna start with the right, and now we're gonna move up towards the back, in clockwise motion, and going as slow as you can so that gravity can help you open up your vertebrae. The concept of yin is letting go, allowing the universe to happen onto you. Feel your rootedness and your connection to the ground from your sit bones, and allow gravity to act on you as you come through to the left side, seeing how it feels on this opposite, right muscle. And then we'll come down towards the center. And we'll take it to the right again. Now we can slowly speed it up. Inhale as you send your head back. And exhale, coming down. Try to get every corner as you inhale in, coming up. And exhale, come down through the center. Take one more circle this direction. And close your eyes if you haven't already. Exhale, come down through the center. Now meeting me back at the center, we'll take it to the left. And then this time we'll go counterclockwise. So inhale as we go up. And exhale as we come down. Allowing yourself to feel what your brain activity is like in this moment of in between. You're acting, but also letting gravity help you open up. Inhale and come up. And exhale down through the center. One last one. And exhale through the center. Come back to our seated position. Now we'll bring the legs forward. So we're starting with the right leg here. We're gonna open up and place right ankle on top of left knee. So it's a little bit different than a typical, crisscross applesauce. And here I'm aligning my right knee with my left ankle. So you're gonna feel this open up your hip here. Now you can stay right here in an uprooted position, or you can begin to come down, bringing your forearms forward. You're gonna feel this in your hip, and you're gonna feel it open up, and just let it happen. Our automatic nervous system likes to automatically seize up. It's part of what happens in our daily routine. Here, what you want to do is just relax, letting go of all muscle tension, allowing yourself, again, to let go to gravity. Sticking with the breath, inhale in, identify the moments in which your body is holding on to muscular action. And exhale, let it go. Just breathing at your own pace. Think of a flat back as you reach forward a little bit more, or if you're staying in an uprooted position, thinking spine up, sitting tall. We'll stay here for 5 more breaths. drawing these inhales and exhales as long as you can. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Inhale in, open your eyes, and we'll slowly come up. Now we'll switch out our feet. So breathing slow movement, our transitions are just as important as the posture itself. Now I'm going to place my right foot on the bottom, and I'll bring my left on top. As I like to wiggle around, make sure my sit bones are evenly rooted, making sure that my right ankle is on the left knee on the right ankle. And if you can't meet this alignment perfectly, it's all okay because our bodies are different and everyone's at their own place. So we'll begin to move forward if we want to take the next step. And as I come down, sometimes I can stay up here and then just reach forward. Or I could begin to bring the forearms down and then allow the shoulders to drop. Wherever you are, allow the weight of gravity to help you open up your hip. And just breathe for 5 breaths. Now take your last breath in. Make it your fullest. Inhale in all the way, filling up your lungs with the oxygen. And exhale. We'll slowly come up into our seats. Unwrapping the legs slowly. And we'll just extending it long. So you'll feel the blood flowing in your legs, the energy surging through. And here we'll just bring a little bit of movement. And I'm going to sit in this direction so that I can have a better visualization. Now we're going to reach for toes, but it's not about the hamstrings here, it's about the spine. So bend your knees as much as you need, and we'll reach for the soles of our feet, wrapping the arm around so we can open up our shoulder. Now we're like this, and you want to really make this about a spine bend forward. So maybe you want to extend your legs forward, and then you can have this moment where your forehead can start sinking down. You can have your use your arms to kind of pull you forward. So however much of a bend you need for that to happen so that your back can have this rounded shape. Opening up through the spine, we'll just counteract that motion. Awesome. Now we'll come back into upright position. We'll swing our legs around slowly. And we'll enter into a toe stretch. So here I am sitting on my heel and my toes are flexed on the ground. Now, this can be a little bit of an aggravating position wherein our feet aren't used to being stretched, but we have most sensitive nerve points in these zones. So you can keep your hands on the ground to kind of loosen that weight, but ultimately we can come here and just close your eyes and feeling yourself in this moment where a lot of feelings can come up. So in Chinese acupuncture, there's a lot of, this is a big target zone that stimulates a lot of different organs in your body. So you can place your hands on your knees or on the ground. Just breathe. This one, we won't be here for long, just 3 more breaths. Inhale in. And exhale. Inhale in. Exhale. Take your last breath in. And open mouth, exhale. Open your eyes and we'll come forward. If you haven't already, unfold the toes and we'll slowly bring it down. And then we'll take it down to a child's pose. So here we're bringing our legs together, sending your hips back as you reach forward. So this reaching forward as you pull your back body towards the heel. Sink your forehead to the ground, just keeping this active as we inhale in, make micro movements, pulling your hands forward, opening up through the shoulders, using the grip on the ground and all 10 fingers to web through. Stay here for 5 breaths. On your last inhale in, take a big breath. And exhale, open up and come up into our first tabletop position. So in tabletop, you want to place your wrist underneath your shoulders, knee underneath your hip point. Think flat back, push away from the ground so we're not sinking in here. Want to happening. So think concave at your back. Your gaze is towards the ground. Now we'll curl our toes again, like what we did earlier. We'll do a mini hover off the ground. You're going to feel your core engage. This is when we introduce yang into the class because we're actively pushing and pulling. Take this here for another 3 seconds. You know, you can add a little bit of movement, see how you feel. You know, you can go back and forth. One last breath, inhale in. And exhale, sinking down. We'll uncurl the toes and we'll inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. Send the gaze up, curl the back body, think back bend here. And exhale, round through the spine, cat pose. As if you're an angry cat. Send your chin towards your chest and send your gaze towards your belly button. Inhale in, cow pose. Sending the gaze up. And exhale. Rounding. One last one. We can introduce a little bit of rounded movement here. Inhale in, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Coming back into a central neutral spine. We'll plant the hands and come into plank position. So we're doing a tall plank here. So I want to have my body, we're not doing this or this yet, but staying in this position. Now we'll transition to downward facing dog, but something I want to note here is I want the web of my finger, the place right here, to point forward so I can have the maximum grip. So it kind of looks like that. Now we'll take it to downward facing dog, and actually the transition you want to have, so you have the same amount of space, is for you to be able to go from plank to downward facing dog without shifting your feet much at all. So when I'm in downward facing dog, my knee bend doesn't matter as much. Let's start focusing on the shoulders. Shoulders are such an important zone for us. We want to have this shoulder bend and sending the belly towards the thighs. Think flat back. We'll take a few breaths here. Take one more inhale in and exhale. Inhale in, right leg up. Oops. And we'll lift the right leg up. We can open the hip a little bit and then exhale, sending it forward. So we're going to come into this front lunge. We're going to lower the left knee, thinking frontal plane up. Now uncurl the back toes, and we're actually going to come into a stretch. So now we're going to come into half moon. My hip is above my knee. I'm going to walk my hands forward. So I can bend my knee as much as I want, but thinking forehead to knee here so that we can have a chin to chest connection, meeting my forehead to my knee, no matter how much I have to bend my knee, and then using my forehead to push my knee back. This chin to chest compression helps stimulate our thyroid, which regulates a lot of emotions and feelings. Keeping your hands on your fingertips without sinking into your weight. Keeping your weight in your heel and your foot. And your arms are just a balancing tool. Don't forget about your breath here. Inhale in. Identify places you're actively using muscles. And exhale, pushing back on your knee. And your next inhale, slowly roll through the front foot, coming back into this half lunge. Now we'll bring the right foot back in line with the hands, and then we'll come into this front lunge. So here, this is another yin posture. We want to sink into this right hip crease. Sometimes you can get like a book here, something to hold on to that keeps you uprooted. You can also place your hand on your knee. That's something that I like to do. Or you can come down to here if this is a little too much. So what we want to think about is similar to that first log pose that we did. We want to inhale in, identify the places that we're holding on to here, and then let go and just sink into this right hip fearlessly and without attachment. These hip openers are designed to release a lot of feelings that we build up throughout the day. We'll start to feel this mind-body connection where different postures stimulate different thoughts and triggers. The goal here is to understand how those feelings arise in this safe space, noticing what you can do in your breath to ease yourself. Take your last inhale in. Exhale, open the eyes, plant the palms. We'll send it back into child's pose. Meeting the forehead towards the ground. Feeling the connection with the earth. This earth that we're all standing on, a piece of. And your next inhale and look forward. We'll come back into this tabletop position. We'll come back into a cat and cow again, but here let's make it more free flowing. So play however you want. Maybe you want to roll through the right side body and then through the left. So finding the corners and your hips and your back that you want to work on as you inhale, breathe, and exhale, relax. Take your last 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Coming back into neutral spine with me. Now we'll take the palms, plant the toes, come back into plank position. You'll have to walk your palms out a little bit just so that we have this. Oh, my ankles feel good in this posture. Now we'll take it up to downward facing dog. So bending the knees again as much as you need. Doesn't matter if your heels are made ground at all. Inhale, look forward, raise the left leg, open up the hip, and exhale, step forward. Out there. Checking the messages. We will now come into this, drop the right knee, and we'll come into our half splits again. So we have the knee below the hip, similar. I'm walking the leg out as far as I can. We could bend the knee if you need. Flexing the toes pointed towards the sky. Now, making sure that our hip, we're not opening up the leg too much that way or this way, but we're keeping everything forward. Now, walk the fingers forward. Now think forehead to knee. So I'm literally placing my forehead on my knee and then pushing it backward. This might feel very unnatural at first, but trust me, your thyroid. Thank you for doing this. So we'll push the knee back, focusing on your breath, this constricting pose. And take your last breath in. Make it your fullest. And exhale, round through, planting the leg. And we'll enter our lunge as we move the front foot back so that our knee can go past the ankle. So as we see what I'm doing here, I'm actively extending my knee past my ankle so that we have this opening of the left hip. See how it feels different. The symmetries within our body do exist. Now we can place your hand here, or we can come down. I'm going to take it down here for this one. Just breathe. Identify the automatic movements. Inhale, exhale, telling yourself to let that go. You are creating your own path. And the first step is to notice what your body is automatically telling you and figuring out ways to overcome that. On your next breath, slowly come out of the pose. Take the leg back. Must feel really good. And we'll take it down into a child's pose. This is where we'll end our class for winding down. You can take it into corpse pose, but much of, we have the rest of the day, so it's very optional. Child's pose is a great way to get rooted. Take 2 breaths here, inhale in, exhale. One more inhale in. Exhale, open the gaze, and we'll come through into a seated position. Actually gonna come closer up here. So it's great to see everyone in this room. Now we'll meet into this seated position to close out class, bringing the palms together. This is where the thumb meets the sternum. And drop the shoulders. Taking a breath in, honoring your practice, sealing it with a bow. Namaste.
Thank you, Mona. That was great. Thank you for leading us through the yoga session with mindful practice to understand your decision-making and thought process. These are great to kick off the week, and I do want to share Mona's information, which I've put into the chat. Check out her other yoga sessions on her Instagram. It's mona.fang. And our next session will be with Kevin Jane for the new age of meditation. Experience your body like never before as Kevin and the iBench team take you through an experience that will change the way you think about meditation and leave you feeling relaxed and peaceful. In order to do this, please click Sessions on the left-hand side to navigate to the meditation event. Thank you. Thank you again, Mona. This was great.
Sure. Glad to lead it. Sorry, went a little bit over.
It's all good. I'm glad. It's great to start off the Monday with just meditation and yoga.
For sure. Good stuff.
Okay.
Happy to help. All right.
Yep.
So, to
just leave this session by either exiting out of Hopin or going to another session.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, and hope everyone has a peaceful Monday. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Mona.